Welcome to the Dwarven Forge Build of the Month for January of 2020, and this is Ancient Anguish. I built this encounter using 3 of our sets. It's one of our Construct a Castle large corner tower sets, which is primarily over here, and 2 add-on sets from our castle line. It's our large ruin tower sets, which are these curved ruin pieces, and our ruined wall sets, which are these straight ruined pieces. We also have a bunch of leftover stuff over here, anything that was made of wood, because this is really ancient ruins that were all rotted, so we're just going to get rid of all the beautiful wooden bits out of here. I built this on top of 4 of our forest terrain trays because it looked good, but not necessary for the encounter. So, the story here in Ancient Anguish is it's harvest time, harvest festival time. Time when the turning of the worlds has made the veil between the planes very thin, and sometimes the spirits sneak through. A time that we often call the harrowing when we are nocturne. The local village has had a bunch of livestock disappearing. They're turning up sheep and cows that are just like desiccated corpses. Some of their children disappearing. People are dying. There's horrible spirits and caterwauling late at night. So of course they call upon the local adventurers. Perhaps a party of 2nd or 3rd level adventurers thereabouts, maybe 5 to 6 of them. They call them out and they say, well, perhaps that has something to do with that big, ancient, creepy castle that's on the hill over there that we think is haunted. Go figure. And sure enough, every night there's terrible caterwauling and sounds of anguish and agony. The players will have to go investigate and find out what sort of spectral horrors lurk within. So let's take a look at Ancient Anguish. So, let's say our heroic adventuring party approaches from here. Perhaps, if they're clever, they will have come during daylight hours, because they figure out these spirits are coming at night, so maybe they can scout it out first and we can get the lay of the land. If they investigate during the day, maybe they don't find anything unusual. Looks like ancient ruins, right? These things have been there, I don't know, a couple hundred years, maybe make it 1,000, whatever's fun. They've kind of grown up. As you can see here, we've used a couple of our terrain trays. You don't need to use the terrain trays. You can build on anything you want, but I wanted to show off our new forest terrain trays. Under here is some nice greenery. So as soon as night falls, so they've checked it out, daytime is kind of quiet. As soon as night falls, then you see some sort of, they start hearing as the last rays of sunlight are setting over the horizon, maybe this red light coming over here, they hear some wailing, some anguished sounds of torment and terror, and perhaps there's some weird kind of light coalescing over in this tower and in this tower. And then, for fun, what the heck, you have an incorporeal figure come through the wall, wailing, caterwauling. I'm using this Dwarven War Chief here, because I don't have a Spectre on hand, but he is blue skinned, he looks kind of creepy. So we'll have him let's have him, party will get attacked. It'll be a simple fight, it's just one Spectre. If you want to get things lively, maybe a second one flies down from the top of this tower. They can have it's a fun little battle. They're feeling good because they knock those things out. Maybe if they turn them, they get their cleric, she does her turn undead. They go back into their towers. But here's the fun part. They kill them, it seems like, okay, it might be safe to attack. Moments later, Anguish, they respawn and they come back. So these guys are just going to keep attacking. It's a relentless grinder of endless specters. So you can, it makes it a challenge for like a 3rd level party or something when there's just a non-stop barrage of specters. And because they're incorporeal, they can kind of drift in and out anywhere. Anyway, hopefully the players will sort of figure out, wow, they're both coming from specific spots. Let's go investigate and figure out if we can stop it. So let's start. They can kind of enter wherever they want, but for the sake of this walkthrough, let's start over in this side here. So there's a couple of ways they could get in to this tower. They could, one, if they had like a halfling or a gnome or something, they could squeeze through one of these arrow slits if they wanted. If they've got a big burly fighter, they could just hoist someone up over the wall. Their sneaky rogue could do some sort of parkour nonsense and jump up and over. They could come on over here. They could work up these steps. Same thing. They could loft someone over or climb and kind of jump in that way. They could also take the long walk through this hallway here, and we'll show that in a second. Come in through this way. Either way, however they get in, there'll be like a blackened patch in the ground where there's foul energies, right? There's definitely a necrotic vibe going on there. Maybe there's just a permanently blackened patch on the earth. Nothing grows there. But there's definitely a spot. Maybe it looks like ancient, it was splatter in the shape of like a blood splotch from 1,000 years ago that's never healed. And that is our spot where the specter's healing. So the story would be, however many years ago when this castle fell, these were the castle defenders. Maybe it was the king and the queen of the castle, or maybe it's a bit more interesting. Maybe it was two queens, right? And this is where they fell, and so they have to be put to rest, or the specters will keep coming forever and ever. So players can do some sort of cool last rites there. Maybe do a religion check. Maybe they can use a ceremony spell if they've got it, and the paladin comes and does a ceremony. I mean, how often do you get to use that spell? We had, our players did it for a wedding in the middle of the Dungeon of Doom, but, that's the office here, things get lively. So, if players want to come journey out from this tower into the body of the castle, you could just disassemble the walls to get in there, or you could just use our wall removal tool that comes with our castle sets, and pop the wall off. There, so then you can get inside the build while still having this area playable. And this could be fun too if say the specter is like dropping through the floor, or maybe they spot it on the top of the wall and then it comes down. So lets you use the top and the bottom concurrently if you'd like. That's my preferred way to work with it. These walls still work with the wall skin removed. So, if the players are traveling through the wall, if they're on the inside of the wall, they'll come out on this floor. If they're on the top of the wall, they'll come out on this floor. So before I dismantle this for actual play, I just wanted to sort of appreciate how we built out the ruins here. Just used all these large tower ruined pieces. These ones are upside down. These ones are right side up. They're designed to work either way. So we have this kind of big fallout rubble on the ground and these sort of floating floors. So it really feels like the whole thing could collapse at any moment. And perhaps maybe that's what you do. Maybe you have some bits of the floor fall off or roof fall off or whatnot. So once the players get into the tower, you can disassemble it for play on the table. We'll do one layer at a time. We'll do first the battlements, then the upper story, then this story, and then we can play in here. And once those are off, if you need, you can pop these out to get access to the hallways or leave them on. But it should let you do some fun stuff where you could have a specter kind of phasing through the floors, working its way down the levels, vice versa, phasing through the wall and coming out of here and whatnot. And story-wise, my theory at this point is once the first one is laid to rest, it probably drives this one into kind of a rage, or maybe it's so angry that the other one is finally freed, that it goes into some sort of rage. Make this one even more powerful, or maybe it spawns even faster. So it's just sort of this relentless spectral onslaught, just bump, 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 bump to really ratchet up, and lots of wailing and caterwauling to keep your players on edge. The specter is now, she's going crazy. Now that the first one's killed, the players are probably gonna work their way up, right? They'll kind of go up these stairs, up here. When they get up into here, they're gonna realize that there's no ladder or trapdoor to get up to the roof, right? Because this is, boom, up on top here. So they're gonna have to figure out a way to get up there. Once again, they can do some sort of teamwork where somebody boosts somebody up. Time to use that grappling hook you've been hauling around, whatever. They can get up, and it's gonna be the same deal up here. There's ancient, weird blood stain that's still there, even though it's ancient, and that's the source of ancient anguish. The specter keeps respawning here sort of really rapidly, but maybe the twist on this one is there's something missing. They can't complete the last rites because they need something. There's something that's still tethering her here, some memory from life beyond her horrible, painful, violent death that's holding her. So, of course, we'll have that thing down like in the basement of this tower. So somehow maybe they have to keep fighting this thing while the rest of them are searching the building or whatever, running down the stairs, running down the stairs, running down the stairs, running down the stairs. And then, of course, there's no stairs or ladder down here, so they're going to have to figure out another way to get down into the dank, terrible basement. What's down there? I don't know. Why don't you tell us in the comments what could be hidden in the basement of this tower that's tethering the specter to the material plane here? What is it? What do they find down here that they need to finally perform the rites and end the curse, end the ancient anguish? So once they do that, boom, specter is gone, so is ancient pool of blood, it fades, and then they can make their hasty exit. Maybe they'll go out this way because we haven't gone up this side. This would also be a great way to sort of enter, and this thing is just made with, it's the ruined wall pieces. I did put, this is a fun one, this half spacer here, so you know, it's got metal inside. People don't know it has metal inside, so it works magnetically with these pieces. You could even use it with your regular wall pieces. If you're a shorter full spacer, you can use a half or two halves to make a spacer. Boom. And then get out of here. And that wraps up our ancient agony. If you like this and you want more torture every month, more terrible encounters, like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our content. And also put in the comments what you think might be lurking in the basement of this tower. What sort of haunted horror is down there? Well, that's it for now. We'll see you next month. It's back to the anvil.